Hello and welcome to my revamped opening upgrade guide. So early forging. What are some good things to forge and why? So let's go over it. Alright, so I've done the opening of this game up until chapter 10 4 times. I've beaten the game twice on Maddening. My third Maddening run I'm halfway through. My fourth one I'm about to hit the halfway point as well. So I'm kind of comparing my third and fourth runs to each other, so they'll probably finish at around the same time, because I'm going to try different strategies in the third run, and then I'm going to do completely different things in the fourth. So I'm using these to kind of like A/B test things. But it seems that consistently Steel Sword +1 to Steel Sword +3 with beginnings is one of Allier's best weapons, and getting Allier on Wyvern early, like as early as possible, is huge. And Allier becomes an unstoppable killing machine as soon as you do this. And even before then, this is just a fantastic weapon. I would argue it's better than Liberation, because unlike Liberation, which has lower might and less crit, the Steel Sword has higher base damage. It has, I think, the same accuracy. Yeah, so if you upgrade this, it has like similar accuracy, but it has higher base damage, it has crit rate, and it just is more endgame ready than Liberation. Now, Liberation isn't bad. You can invest in this, and it is to some degree endgame ready, but it falls off in terms of might, whereas Steel Sword is always useful. So, Steel Sword +3 with beginnings, pretty solid. Just getting Steel Sword with beginnings is also very solid. Levin Sword +1 to 3 on Saline and Anna. Anna would have to be a Mage Knight. This is pretty disgusting. Like, this combo, these dudes are nukes now. They both are nukes on wheels. Well, one of them is a nuke on wheels. The other one's just a nuke. But Anna on Mage Knight gets 6 build, and if you use Celica's engraving, it will reduce the damage by 1, but it also reduces the weight by 1, and eventually Anna will get 1 point of build after she levels up 20 times. So she also has high speed growth on Mage Knight, so you basically want to make her Levin Sword lighter so that eventually as you enter mid to end game, she'll be consistently doubling with it. And Saline, she has slightly worse speed growth than Anna, so you might as well just commit to the damage and throw... whose engraving is this? Let's see. The engraving of... Oh wait, do I not have it? Oh, okay, alright. It's not letting me change it because it's already on there. Alright, let me try engraving a different weapon. Leaf's Genealogy? Is Leaf Genealogy? I don't know. I haven't played every single Fire Emblem game, so forgive me. But the Genealogy engraving is good on hers, because she's probably not going to double with it anyways. Now, you can get her to double with it if you get her build plus or speed plus, passives. I don't think it's really necessary. You can always just have her hit with tomes when you want her to double, and then use the Levin Sword when you don't. So it's pretty solid between the two of these. These are 2 viable Levin Swords. And then another weapon that I'd say you want to prioritize is the Steel Lance on Chloe. Chloe, with this particular weapon, will carry your early game, and she can probably solo most of the maps easily. She just one-rounds most enemies, does high damage with the Steel Lance, and will easily kill almost anything. So, pretty crazy. Also, for axes, I don't really recommend investing in axes, because the only unit who uses axes early is Boucheron or potentially Anna, and an Iron Axe +1 or +2 is fine for Anna until you can get her switched over onto Magic. For bows, you can start upgrading a Steel Bow if you want. I don't know that... I would say the bow target should really be Alchrist, and I don't know that he benefits hugely from having a damage increase. Steel Bow can one-shot most flyers up until the mid-game without any upgrades, so it doesn't really need upgraded. And if you do upgrade it, let's go to Refine. If you do upgrade it, you'd probably want to get to +2 for increased accuracy. Steel Bow tends to have like mid-80s for hit rate, so sometimes you miss. It's kind of annoying, so you can upgrade it for that reason. Now, obviously, Steel is always a great weapon type because of its ability to reduce weight, increase damage, increase hit, and increase crit. So when you hit +3, you lose a weight. When you hit +5, you lose a second point of weight. I think Alchrist his build is high enough that the weight isn't really an issue, so you could +1 or +2 it if you want. It would be pretty good. It would help with the damage and with the hit rate. It also would help for when he shoots non-flying targets to get a little bit extra damage on them. Tomes I don't recommend upgrading, but you can engrave Thunder with Roy. It just increases the damage. Thunder can't follow up, so you might as well just go hard on the damage. In this case, I'm running it on Saline. And then Iron Dagger is worth upgrading if you want to run Yunaka early. Yunaka is a kind of hard carry early. The early hard carry units, I would say, are Yunaka, Alir, Chloe, to some degree Anna. Anna's a hard carry once you get her going. Before then, like for the first chapter she's deployed, she's just going to be a healer on Micaiah. And then once she hits level 10 and then gets into Warrior, then she becomes a hard carry because early game there's a lot of flyers that need shot down, so her being on Warrior is massive advantage. Or massive upside for those of you who like commenting pure upside for some reason. Alright, so yeah, but once she gets going, she's a hard carry. Saline can be made into a hard carry as well. So these are kind of like your DPS carries early game. And then Fram can just become a solid unit. Alchrist is a solid unit, and if you advance him, he becomes a hard carry, I would say, mid to late game once Luna's super consistent. But before then, he's just a very good unit. He's like an A tier. And then Diamants, whatever, he's pretty good. Citrine's okay. But yeah, those are the weapons I recommend creating. And I also was looking to find a use for each of the engravings. So one of the engravings that might be kind of difficult to place would be this one. I don't know the name off the top of my head. We'll find out soon. All right, so Dawn. So Micaiah's. So what this one does, it reduces might by 3. It reduces weight, but it increases avoid. This is good to throw on like a healer. It's pretty cheap, so you can use it on Fram. So for example, if you have Fram's Iron Body art or whatever art she's using, like, you know, you run this on her, she just becomes kind of a void tank. Now you can use this on a void tank builds, and it can be used to break the game, I believe. You will lose damage, but you can throw it on a hard carry. Like, you could probably throw this on a steel sword +3 and just become an avoid tank. And I'm pretty sure that's the build that solos the game. It might be Liberation with this, but there's some builds that can be insanely broken. But avoid +40 is huge. That's a massive increase in avoid. So losing 3 damage for that. You could use this on your DPS. You just want something with higher strength, or put it on a weapon with high might. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this updated beginning guide. It's very similar to the previous one. Just a few new things, like getting 11 swords. All right, so, oh yeah, one other thing. To get 11 swords, Diamant has a steel sword, and you can buy a steel sword, I think after chapter 7 or chapter 8 from the armory. And what you do to turn it into 11 swords, so you can get 2 11 swords early, is you go to forge, you go to refine the steel sword, and then you turn it into 11 sword by spending 1k, 100 iron, and 10 steel. And to get these amounts, you can always convert a silver. Like, you place dogs down, you have as many dogs. Anytime you get a dog, deploy it, collect after every mission, collect the resources. Sometimes they'll give you silver. If you get a silver, that can get you a lot of iron. Or alternatively, what you should do is you should increase donation level to get more iron and steel. So here are my donation levels currently. I have both of these at level 3. Brody at level 3 actually is worth it. So you get it to level 2 after the first chapter, and then you benefit from that. And then you get to level 3 after the next chapter, and then you benefit from that. So you get a 5 times multiplier, and I believe you get 10 steel and I think like 300 iron from the next chapter, chapter 9. And then also it scales your rewards in both of the paralogs. And one of the first paralogs is a Brodia paralog. And the game hands you, I think, like 30 or 40k after you beat chapter 9. So you can easily dump the extra, like 10 of that. Like, you can still see I have an excess of 16k. This is without DLC. So I don't have any DLC increased money or anything like that. So that is it for this guide. Overall, the 11 swords, the steel sword, and the steel lance and iron daggers are your upgrade targets. Bows and tomes. Most tomes will one round enemy armor. Most bows, like steel bow, will continue to one-shot enemy flyers throughout most of the game until you enter mid-game. So you can pretty much leave them alone. You can upgrade them if you find it useful, but you can always just increase support rank with your archers to increase their accuracy and just have them stand next to their supports. Now that the game allows you to increase support rank between units through 3 different activities, including the cafe, so you have 4 different activities to increase unit-to-unit support, you can easily increase hit rates to make your units more consistent. All right, so that's it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this useful, and I'll see you next one.